Matt, they say it's not till you make a big save, have a big moment in the game that you feel like you're World Cup goalkeeper. What moment was that for you where you're like, okay, I'm in the World Cup and I mean it?
After the first game, Tony Jimenez came over and gave me a hug and said congratulations and said you're a World Cup goalkeeper right now, or he said you're a World Cup goalkeeper now, and it was obviously a very cool realization, but it filled me with really a hunger to play as many games here and to advance obviously as far as possible, so that I get even more games and this team gets more opportunity to show what we can do.
What was it like to get that clean sheet? Man, it's been 9 games and you had a clean sheet for the U.S. So to be able to do that against a team like Australia who had scored on you guys back in October.
Yeah, I think the guys in front of me did an incredible job all day, both competing for duels and tactically making the right decisions and being smart with the ball, being confident with the ball. So really, I think it was a full team clean sheet, and so obviously an honor to get a clean sheet in a World Cup. It doesn't happen often, so very excited. But I want several more clean sheets in a World Cup.
Matt, that's been a part of work for keepers. Have you seen other games of like, for example, Lasagna? What are your impressions on the other goalkeepers?
Yeah, obviously there's been some fantastic goalkeeping performances here at the World Cup, and it's I'm very, very proud of the group that we have and the way we've controlled games and done a great job to be proactive in our defensive foundations.
Matt, you've talked a lot about hydration breaks throughout this World Cup and even before. Now that you've played 2 games, had them in the World Cup, how do you like them? Do you not like them? Do you feel like it disrupts the flow? Do you feel like it helps if you guys need to strategies?
Yeah, I don't really have. I'm pretty indifferent towards it. I've done it before in the MLS, so it's not too new for me.
Matt is surprised that Turkey eliminated the group. Now, do you think it's an advantage or disadvantage for the last game, and especially which players from Turkey?
I think really regardless of whether or not they're eliminated, I think it's a strong group and a competitive group. Obviously I played them in my debut, so I'm familiar with them, and really we're focused on ourselves, and all 26 guys are focused on being ready to compete and ready to continue the momentum that we've built.
Have you guys had any conversations about in the knockout round figuring out who you guys are going to play, because it's so fluid and you guys probably aren't going to find out till just really a couple of days beforehand?
Yeah, it's interesting. I was actually just talking about this earlier today. I'm a guy that really just doesn't start to look at any of those scenarios and try to guesswork it, because really it could change up until I think the 27th, and so I'm personally more focused on preparing myself this week to be able to compete and win our 3rd group stage game, which is important to continue the momentum.
Matt, obviously this was a tough competition, a close competition for the goalkeeper job. Now that we already know that you're the starter kind of going forward, what's been your relationship with the other Matt Turner, and afterwards you guys have a conversation? Has he been supportive? I'm just curious, sort of, after a tough sort of competition.
Yeah, obviously he's been supportive. We have a group of 26 guys that all want to play, and in the minute the decisions come out, we're all supporting each other. I think it's very clear in the way that we've celebrated the goals, and so I think with that type of mentality, it shows that the team is in a very strong spot, and so obviously he's also been very helpful, with advice and encouragement, and the World Cup is not many people get to experience it and play in it, and so to be able to have him, help me along that journey and be supportive of me obviously means a lot.
Right. As a goalkeeper, what do you think about the breaks or about the aeration breaks?
Yeah, we kind of just answered that.
As a goalkeeper, have you feel the turnover, the change of the game after the moments?
I'm pretty indifferent towards it.
What do you think about the reporter Weston McKinney up there?
It's hard to focus on you guys.
You got a question?
He was also our chauffeur. He drove us here on a golf cart, and we get here and we said, Wes, do you have a meeting? He goes, no, I just wanted to drive you guys.
Were you scared?
No.
So you could drive it.
He's an alright driver.
Two more questions.
What's it like to you? Camaraderie of this team as a whole. You guys seem so close. Yesterday, Chris took a ball to the face. Everyone else was busted out laughing. Just how close knit is this group?
Yeah, I think I've heard before I got here. I heard from some people, some mentors that it's such a special experience. Obviously, there's the World Cup and there's playing in the World Cup, but what they were talking about was how a group bonds and how a group becomes a family within a World Cup setting. And I didn't really know what they meant, but now I know what they meant. It's such a special feeling to, we go back to our hotel and it's very isolated, very secluded, and it's just us there, and we really just get to be ourselves and bond and become cohesive off the field.
Matt, is that anything?
Matt, there are great goalkeepers in CONCACAF area. Bets like Keylor Navas, Lem Ochoa from Mexico, who can play this 6th World Cup this week. What are your thoughts about the age and Memo Ochoa, because he literally say 6th World Cup?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's a legend, and it's he's 6 World Cups is no joke. So that's so much credit goes to him for continuing his career for such a long period of time. And I also think in that same vein, there's so many American goalkeepers and so many people within the CONCACAF region to look up to, and hopefully I have as long of a career and as successful a career as them.
Great. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Good morning.
How are you feeling today?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good.
Max, so what has this World Cup experience on the whole been like for you so far?
Yeah, it's been amazing. Obviously, it's an unforgettable experience. It's like super special to me because I'm from California and all of our games are on the West Coast. So yeah, it's been awesome, and I'm obviously happy that we're doing super well, and we want to keep going for sure.
So Turkey lost first 2 games. It would be an advantage for you, or maybe we want to win the last game. And which players do you know from Turkey especially?
Yeah, I mean, even though they lost their 2 games, I mean, nobody wants to go out of a World Cup on a disappointment. So I think we're all aware that it's not going to be an easy game. Obviously, they have quality players. So we're not taking anybody lightly, regardless of the circumstances. And yeah, looking forward to it.
Max, this team, since Mauricio was appointed, had some up and down struggles in the friendlies. What clicked and changed once this World Cup started that you guys look like a completely different team and the energy and vibes are just so different?
Yeah, I think the main thing that comes to my mind is I just feel like this is a really close, special group. Like, all of us as players are really close. The chemistry is there. We've all kind of known each other and been in and out of camps for the past 18 months, I would say. So I think that's the main driving force. And then obviously our coach does a good job of creating a good culture and just a competitive environment, I would say, in training. It's very intense. So I think it just translates to the game very well.
I know the match doesn't really have any impact on where you guys are going in the standing, but why do you feel like it is important for you guys to not just, settle for retire a lot, but to actually, get away up?
Yeah, I think just momentum, to be honest with you. You don't want to go into a knockout round having a bad feeling of how the last game went. So although we have advanced, I don't think it changes anything in terms of preparation or mentality. So yeah, I just think it's very important to try and continue to ride the wave of a good performance.
Max, I got a random question for you. We've been asking players around the tournament. What's the hardest thing about being like an elite level football player that the average, person wouldn't understand?
I would say just being away from family, to be honest with you. Whether, even if you have them at your home, like you're always traveling. And yeah, I just feel like you have to sacrifice a lot of valuable time with like your loved ones. But I mean, that's just part of the job, to be honest.
And is there anything about the game itself, like on the field, that people, just watch, the millions of people watching on TV wouldn't quite understand?
I would say maybe just like the intensity of the game. I know sometimes I feel like when you're watching, like you may think it just looks easier than it is, but when you're on the pitch and it's just very intense environment, like it's not as easy as it looks. I guess that's what I would say. Yeah.
But how is the communication with the Latin guys? Will you speak in Spanish? They teach you some words? What do you say?
Yeah, I speak a little bit of Spanish. I grew up in California, so I grew up around a lot of, Latino people. So I can understand a good amount. I speak a little bit. I try to practice as much as I can with our coaching staff and some of the other guys who speak Spanish. So, yeah, I'm gonna keep working on it though.
¿Podrías hablar algo en español? ¿Cómo te sientes en esta Copa Mundial?
Estoy practicando español todos los días y estoy listo para este partido en jueves y estoy emocionado. Someone needs to send me that clip.
How's the sentiment around like the locker room? What does the key say? Your teammate says. What's that sentiment?
Yeah, it's really good right now, to be honest. I feel like it's just a big sense of togetherness. And yeah, like I said, I just think our coaches did a really good job of creating we're happy with the results, but we're never satisfied, not getting too high, not getting too low. And yeah, I just think we're in a really good place mentally right now. And, individually, I just want to contribute as much as I can to that environment.
A lot of players have contributed here during this World Cup, coming off the bench, getting a start, for example, Pepe. With 4 players on the yellows, the group already sewn up. Has there been talk about guys getting opportunities to play?
No, not really, to be honest. We haven't heard anything about that. That's obviously the coach's decision, and whatever he decides, obviously we're going to be on the same page with that. So, yeah, we'll see.
What does it mean, though, for you guys to, be receiving the opportunities that Coach said you guys would receive? In a sense, it's like a lot of guys keep a short rotation. He's been able to get guys in and different names get into the line.
Yeah, I think it's just a testament to, he believes in those players, you know what I mean? He makes everybody feel a part of the group, included, whether they're starting every game or maybe haven't played as much. So, yeah, I think it's just, like I said before, it adds to the element of, togetherness, you know what I mean?
¿Crees que la expectativa del grupo ahora es más elevada después de lo bien que han jugado? La expectativa es más alta. Expectation is higher now after the español sí fue.
We could keep it in English for now. I got my Spanish out for the day, but
You got people's expectations.
I did. Yeah, I think the expectations are high. We won the first 2 games, so obviously everyone is expecting us to keep going, and that's what we want to do. I mean, we're not taking any opponent lightly, and I think that, like I said, that's why even more this next game against Turkey is going to matter, because it's going to keep the momentum going.
How much you miss Pulisic on the field? How important is for you as a player?
Yeah, obviously everybody knows his quality is very important. One of our leaders on and off the field, and yeah, happy to see him back in training, and yeah, we all know what he could do, so.
Have you become a massive John Denver fan, and you like the song Country Roads Take You Home?
It is a good song. I think it's very symbolic of America, obviously, and I think some of the guys who, the dual national guys, they had no idea what was going on after the game, but yeah, it was definitely a good vibe, and after the game to do that.
Have you guys been playing the song in the camp at all, or not?
Honestly, no. It's just one of those songs I think everybody kind of knows. So.
Max, over here. The importance of Major League Soccer in this national team. Before it was thought that if you play in Europe, you had a secure spot in the national team, with Mauricio Pochettino opening that door for players like you and some of the players. What do you think is the importance of Major League Soccer with the national team right now?
Yeah, I think it's very important. I think it gives, obviously, players like myself a platform to show what I can do. Obviously, it's not on par with the same levels of the top 5 European leagues, but I do believe there's still value and quality of players in that league. So yeah, obviously, like you said, our manager has kind of felt the same way, and I think it's really good for the sport, to be honest. I think for soccer in the United States, in order for it to grow, the domestic league has to be, filled with quality. So I think it's really good for the league.
Is that part of the culture that you were talking about?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think like anytime, like myself, I see all these players that play for these top teams, and I'm in MLS, it's like I feel more motivated to prove myself. And I think for the most part, all the MLS guys feel that way. And I think, yeah, it adds to the culture because it's just a bit more, adds to that intensity and competitiveness in training.
Great.